So, hi everyone, welcome to our workshop, Unleash the Love Within. Today, you are going to learn how to use holistic wellness and self love to release your past trauma, and you're going to create a plan to help you move forward. Before we start, give yourself permission right now to stay engaged with us and commit to staying fully present. This work that we do together is really sacred. So turn your phone on silent, find a quiet place, and set your intention right now to really embrace this time together. Let's start off with a few slow, deep centering breaths. Drop your shoulders, let go of any burdens you're carrying, even if it's just for a few minutes. Wiggle your ears or release your jaw, and then just shake off the ick from the day. You deserve to take this time for yourself. Give yourself permission right now. So, in our workshop right today, we are going to be exploring self love, and I'll be sharing parts of my own journey to self acceptance. And I'll also explain the two paths to wellness and how holistic wellness and self love are very interconnected. We'll also discuss finding balance, and you're going to create a self care plan. Plus, I'll be sharing how to embrace self love using holistic methods like EFT tapping. And if you've never heard of EFT tapping, you'll want to watch all the way to the end because I'm going to be walking us through a really powerful tapping session to restore self love and acceptance in ourselves. So, just a couple of quick reminders before we get started. First off, this workshop should take us about an hour. And if you need to leave, don't worry, you can hit pause or you can come back and watch the replay later. And once you have claimed your bonuses, the workshop bonuses, I will email you a copy of the replay with a direct link so that you can download those workshop resources. And if you have any questions as we go through this workshop, please let me know. All right, so I don't believe in wasting anyone's time. So before we get too much further, I want to make sure that this workshop is for you. If you're here today and you're struggling with self-condemnation or self-esteem, if you feel stuck and you're constantly battling your past, or maybe you're tired of not feeling heard by your doctor, and you're ready to start exploring a natural lifestyle, and if you've gathered enough courage to do some deeper work and take your wellness into your own hands, then you are definitely in the right place. Now, on the other hand, this workshop may not be for you if you're just not quite ready to go there with your past, or if you're in a place where you simply are unable to prioritize yourself right now, and that's okay. Maybe you're struggling to take that honest look at your life, or maybe you just close yourself off to vulnerable conversations. And especially if you are looking for a quick fix, then this workshop also likely is not for you. So, who am I and how did I get here? I'm Kimmy. I am a crazy plant lady. I grew up in Bangor, Maine, and moved to the South about 6 years ago. I'm a former first and second grade teacher turned healthcare consultant turned holistic health guru. And I have experienced many beautiful seasons in my life. And I've also experienced a lot of personal trauma. But I deeply believe that everything happens for a reason. And my journey has led me to right here in this moment to create the Elevation Tribe, where I now coach other lady survivors to release their past and embrace their authentic selves. And I'm so happy that you found us. It's not a mistake that you're here today. I'm so grateful for you. So, as women, we rarely hear genuine encouragement. So, please listen really intently as I just remind you of a couple of things. Just in case you've forgotten, you deserve love, joy, and happiness. You have a purpose, and your life matters. You add beauty and love to the world that no one else can. You are surrounded by love. You can find a way forward. You are enough. and you are loved. All right, so let's just take a minute for a self-love check-in. We're going to start with both hands up in the air. And I want you to put a finger down for each of these traits that I read off that you're struggling with. And there is no judgment here, so just be really honest with yourself. All right. So put a finger down if you find yourself mentally slinging insults at yourself or your appearance every time that you walk by the mirror. Put a finger down if you are paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes or not meeting people's expectations. Put a finger down if you struggle to assert personal limits in your life or even prioritize self-care without feeling guilty. Put a finger down if you avoid risks and you avoid relationships because you're afraid of rejection or failure. Put a finger down if you are overly critical of yourself and you compare yourself with others. Put a finger down if you find it really difficult to express your emotions openly or show any type of vulnerability. Put a finger down if you have unresolved past experiences that keep coming back and they impact your self-esteem. Put a finger down if you tell white lies or embellish stories just to seek approval from others so you feel more valued. Put a finger down if you feel disconnected or lonely and you struggle to form meaningful connections. And put a finger down if you struggle to accept compliments or you downplay your own achievements and positive qualities. So if you're like me, I'm guessing you probably have very few fingers left standing, but that's why we're here. And during our time together, I'm going to help you see things and just see how things could be different for you. And then I'm going to teach you a path to move forward. So let's start off by exploring what self-love actually is. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and picture someone who has a deep sense of self-confidence. I'm sure that we all know someone like that, right? She's able to walk into any room and she is immediately at ease. She doesn't have any worries about being judged or criticized. She actually couldn't really care less what most people think of her. She's the woman that you'll find engaged in the corner in a deep, meaningful conversation because she has very little tolerance for gossip or petty drama. This confident woman, most importantly, she fully accepts and loves her whole self. Makeup free, wrinkly eyes, gray hairs, flabby arms, crooked smile. She knows that she is beautiful and she is loved because she loves and she accepts herself. So with your eyes still closed, picture someone that you love very dearly. Perhaps it's a best friend or maybe it's a beloved family member. Now, just imagine that you traded bodies with this person for 3 months and you knew this plan, like y'all made this plan ahead of time. So you knew that you only had 3 months in this situation. What would you do? What would you do with your 3 months? How would you spend those 3 months taking care of your loved one's body? Would you make sure that she had enough water and rest? Would you maybe help her take care of some physical illness that she's been struggling with? I'm sure there's no doubt that when you switched back after 3 months, that your friend would be in a better place, right? Why is it so easy for us to put our loved ones' health and happiness ahead of our own? And what would happen if we started treating our own bodies that well? Now, if you struggle with self-care, but you're not quite sure where to start, then I want to share our very first workshop bonus with you. It's 14 simple ways to love yourself, and it's a guide that I created with my top self-love action steps. It's going to help you cultivate self-worth and acceptance. And it's my top requested and most shared resource on my website because of how simple and how powerful these steps are. I also want to invite you to join the Elevation Tribe, our beautiful online community where you can start to connect with other like-minded women. And you're going to find both of these resources on our site, theelevationtribe.com/self-love. All right, so here is a tale of two Kimmies. Now, you may be wondering why I'm here today sharing about self-love. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Kimmy. I'm recovering from a lifetime of depression, trauma, anxiety, and self-doubt. And you can see the Kimmy on the left from 15 years ago, she hated herself, and her eyes show the depth of her pain. She had held on to almost 30 years of emotional baggage and was using food to protect herself from the world, especially from men. But the Kimmy on the right, she loves what she sees in the mirror. She confidently moves forward in faith and she believes in her abilities. She is learning to conquer her addiction to food, and she has learned how to release trauma and start to regulate her own emotions. So my early 30s were probably the sickest years of my life. I felt lost after I had stopped teaching, and I was completely disconnected. I struggled with panic attacks, anxiety, and depression, which led to serious weight gain, self-esteem issues, and complete mental chaos. My mental state was so chaotic, and it was from unresolved trauma that had been building up. And after struggling on that hamster wheel of our sick care system, it's not a health care system, I actually decided to go against the grain and I began investigating some natural healing methods. And by taking a holistic approach to my healing, I was finally able to uncover the root cause. So now I'm building a tribe of women who want to do the same. And today I'm going to share exactly how I was able to release years of trauma, the fear of judgment, physical illnesses, and through the process of healing, I finally learned to love and embrace my weird, quirky, beautiful, authentic self. So emotional clutter, it isn't something that happens overnight. It's a creeper, and it slowly builds up over time. Our minds are constantly under attack. Stress and anxiety cause us to have constant chatter, and that's very hard to escape. We're constantly jumping ahead to the next thing on our never-ending to-do list. And when we finally do take time to reflect, that's when the self-condemnation kicks in. We sit there and try to be quiet, but we listen to ourselves berate our mistakes over and over, or keep replaying all those bad memories. Our brain and mental overwhelm make it almost impossible to just enjoy a simple moment. And we always tell ourselves, I just need to get through blank, and then I'll take time for myself. I just need to get through the next 2 weeks, and then I'll take some time for myself. I just need to get through soccer season, and then I'll take care of myself. I just need to get over this one big project at work, and then I'll take some time for myself. And y'all, sometimes weeks will go by and it's all a blur. And then you finally do take time for yourself and you have a full system crash, or you feel guilty and you can't enjoy yourself either way. Want to know how I just described you to a T? It's because that was me and that was my journey. So why do we struggle to take care of ourselves? The most common reason is childhood trauma. During our very young years, we are sponges and we're soaking up all of the information that we can. We learn how to behave and talk and react to life through our family interactions. And if you're constantly told things like, you're too sensitive, or be quiet, or you're way too much, settle down, Or maybe you might have heard, "You're not good enough," or "Those shorts make your legs look fat." If you have heard any of those, you know what it feels like. And it creates an internal belief system that just devastates your self-image. You start to internalize these beliefs and you carry them into your relationships, into your workplace, and eventually you could even manifest those beliefs into a chronic illness. And sadly, the attacks to our esteem keep coming. Even in adulthood, we've got mean, judgy girls and peer pressure, and the media is constantly reminding us that we need to dress a certain way, we need to act a certain way, or talk a certain way. And then even worse, we hear messages from people that we love, like, "Would you just calm down?" Or "You're getting too emotional," or "Why are you so mad?" Right? And then we lose our shit because just over something small, right? Because we've been holding it in for so long. But I would guarantee that very few, maybe none of us have actually been taught how to regulate our emotions. So, how do we handle all of that stress and anxiety and overwhelm? So, picture going to a conventional doctor and you explain to him that you've noticed an odor in your kitchen. And the doctor grabs his little prescription pad or maybe his laptop and he writes up a prescription. He says, "Here, all right, use this air freshener and I want you to come back in a month. It should take care of the issue." So on the next visit, the doctor asks, "Hey, how are things going?" And you explain, "Whoa, like the odor is definitely getting worse. And now there's trash all over the place." So again, the doctor grabs his prescription pad and he says, "All right, I'm going to prescribe you a stronger air freshener. And I'm going to give you a second trash bin. And that should take care of the issue." You see where I'm going, right? You see what's happening here? Most conventional medicine treats the symptoms instead of the root cause. And on the other hand, holistic medicine gets down to the root and simply put, it takes out the trash. So on our journey of healing, there's two paths that we can choose. The first and the easiest path to emotional wellness is external. It's using doctors who prescribe you medication, or you could choose to numb yourself with alcohol, drugs, food, even media. And you may even find yourself seeking love and validation through relationships or work or money. And while these things might provide temporary relief, they don't resolve your core issue. The true path to emotional regulation is through a journey inward. And while you may need help along the way, self love is an inside job. You are the only one that can take this journey. So, through mindfulness and reflection and self discovery, you're going to start to understand yourself better. You'll notice and release the trauma and all of the mental burdens that you've been holding on to for so long. And you'll begin to notice less self condemnation and more self compassion. Early in my journey, I took the first path. It was the external path, and I sought out medical advice. In my early 20s, I suffered from really terrible migraines, and I was given a prescription that made my heart race. I I also started to find myself on the hamster wheel of therapy sessions and chiropractic appointments, and I was trying to resolve some chronic lower back pain along with those headaches. And it wasn't until I broke my leg that I realized prescription medication just was not for me. Every single medication that I was prescribed, from the antibiotics all the way to the painkillers, it only made me feel worse. And it wasn't very long after this that I discovered natural remedies and methods. I started my holistic journey by cleaning up my physical environment. I recognized that my headaches were very likely caused by the dozens of candles that I burned around my house, and also from the chemical cleaners that I had been using. And then next, I started working on my mental health by using mindset techniques. And I learned how to visualize and breathe to release mental stress. These were small steps, but they were steps in the right direction. And I decided next to work on my spiritual connection, and I committed to learning the practice of meditation. The last stop on my journey was to resolve my emotional clutter. And when I learned how to use EFT tapping, my life completely changed. So once I had all of these in place, a very beautiful thing happened. I started to heal. The changes were really small at first. I noticed that my mood improved and my brain fog lifted. My headaches were gone. I started to sleep better and I was handling stress and anxiety way more easily. One day, I even stopped a panic attack dead in its tracks by doing a tapping session in the middle of a busy street in Savannah, Georgia. And even though these were really amazing results, the best transformation was the transformation that was happening in my heart. I started complimenting myself with a little ooh la la when I would see myself in the mirror. And I felt completely comfortable in my body without makeup, without dressy clothes. And I began believing in myself and my abilities again. And I embraced everything about my being. I stopped plucking my gray hairs. I began to love my curvy figure, and I was so grateful every time I noticed a new wrinkle. I also found myself surrounded by all of the male neighbors. Luckily, they're all grandpas, but I noticed that for the first time, I wasn't seeking male attention or approval or validation. I was gaining self confidence and I was practicing self love for the very first time in my life. And that was 2 years ago. So, how did I go from 2 years ago, self loving Kimmy, to the Kimmy just very shortly after who struggled with suicidal thoughts and psoriasis? Well, part of the issue is that I fell in love with a man who struggled to express love for himself and for me. And this triggered my trauma of seeking love and just really feeling inadequate. And triggers have a funny way of repeating themselves until we resolve the underlying trauma. But even with this trigger coming up, there were so many beautiful things that happened in this relationship. For the very first time in my life, I fell in love, and and it was reciprocated. And so, even if it wasn't perfect, I was madly in love, and I was enjoying it. But I was so busy taking care of him that for almost a year, I lost myself and I forgot to take care of myself. And then for 6 very scary months, I woke up every single day battling the thought that I did not deserve to live. So our emotions are like a dam, and our body can only hold so much. And those suicidal thoughts and the triggers that I was experiencing were so overwhelming that my system needed a release. And so my subconscious, it did the only thing it could to protect me, and it screamed out for help by putting psoriasis spots all over my body. Now, if anyone here struggles with an autoimmune disease like psoriasis, or you have another chronic illness, then you know how hard it is to love yourself through that. My self-esteem was gone. I didn't want to socialize, and I hated what I saw in the mirror. I tried to ignore it, and I tried to brush it off as just a rash at first. I was in the middle of launching the Elevation Tribe, and I just hadn't been taking the time to take care of myself. And even though I was still practicing my mental self care and meditation every day, the stress from starting a new business and then my abandonment of physical self care made my psoriasis way worse. And Christmas was when my emotional dam finally broke. I took 2 planned weeks off and I spent that time completely isolated. I abandoned all self-care routines and basically rotted on the couch in full crash mode. My psoriasis had flared so badly that I would spend hours every single night awake and scratching. And I had, not gonna lie, I had created my own self-imposed hell. My body and my mind were killing me from the inside, and my mental, emotional, and physical garbage was overflowing onto my skin. And one night I cried out in so much pain. Why? Why is this happening to me? What am I doing wrong? And the answer came back so clearly. You are doing this to yourself. Shit. I knew immediately. I knew it was true. Oh, a hard reality, like smack dab right in the face. I had abandoned myself and I had abandoned my health routines for almost 2 years. And so, right then and there that night, I began to think of what my next move would be. The next morning, I created a new self-care plan, and I knew that that plan was going to provide the way out. I went deep into Kimmy like nerd, Kimmy nerd out time. I was researching holistic methods for psoriasis, and I decided that gut supporting supplements and red light therapy and EFT tapping would be the best 1, 2, 3 punch to really heal my insides, my outsides, and my upstairs. And a week later, I had my very first scratch-free night of sleep in months. My skin was starting to show signs of clearing up, and my anxiety started to ease. Y'all, I was finally healing and practicing self-love again. Creating my self-care plan was very pivotal in creating the balance that I needed on my healing journey. Now, if you're watching this live, I would like to have you commit to creating your self-care plan tonight or tomorrow. But if you're watching this on the replay, please just go ahead and press pause right here and take a few minutes to create a very simple self-care plan. You can always add more later. So first, you want to establish your routines. Consider your goals and all of the emotional work that you want to complete, and ask yourself, how do you want your day to go? What makes you feel good and what raises your energy? I personally prefer to take a little bit of time reading every morning, and I try to stay unplugged until after I've had my quiet time. During the day, I take my supplements, I try to stay hydrated, and then every evening I spend at least half an hour or longer tapping and meditating just to reflect on the day. I share my gratitudes and I release any negative emotions. So, once you have your plan in place, you're going to want to start learning any new strategies that you want to incorporate into that plan. So, for example, if you want to work on mindfulness, then you'll want to learn some breathing and visualization exercises. And then the very last step of the plan is to reflect and adjust your plan as needed. So if you're struggling to get your daily walk commitment in, maybe you want to look at trying a different time of day. All right, so I am going to bring a guest on, Jamie. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Let me go ahead and stop screen sharing here. All right, Jamie.
Hello.
Yay, there you are.
Good evening.
Perfect.
Can you
Jamie,
see me?
my very beautiful baby sister Jamie is here with
Oh,
us on the call. And Jamie, one of my favorite things about you is your self-awareness and vulnerability. So can you just share with us a little of your self-care journey and some of the struggles and strategies that you've come up with?
so I wouldn't, call myself out as anybody who is particularly or necessarily consistently great at self-care. Um, it certainly can depend on the time of year. Really, and this especially is a hard time because we're all just coming out of the most dark time of the year. And so anytime that happens, I just always feel so much gratitude. Like, oh, I did it. I survived the darkest period again. Like, oh, now from here on out, it's just more light and life. And like, I just try to focus on, focus ahead on what's coming. Um, yeah, and I mean, I definitely struggle a lot with self-care, but, or self-love, I suppose, has been something that um, I don't know, I've loved myself and who I am, and I've known that you know, um, a person that people enjoy having around, um, mostly, but like, it's just, um, it can be tough for sure to practice self-love when you don't feel like there are really a lot of people in your life who are holding up that mirror being like, look how awesome you are. I love it.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I totally understand that, Jamie. And I think that's one of the reasons why you and I were put together as sisters because we're really good at reminding ourselves of how beautiful we are. So, what do you think in your self-care journey? What do you think is your biggest block to self-care?
well, I, as you mentioned, we're from Bangor, Maine, and after relocating to this area, um, it has been difficult. Sorry, this area that I'm in now, I'm in the Boston area. It's difficult to make friends, and um, sometimes you just want to bend and be what other people are looking for. But I would like to just continue to be my authentic, weird self and make myself happy and attract the people who want to be part of that journey. And I've been planting little seeds here and there, but mostly I'm just like, working on my own happiness. And I, you know, so far been meeting fun people who are interested in participating in that journey, and that's nice.
Yeah,
And
I love
they
it, Jamie.
cheerlead that journey. Yeah.
You have definitely bloomed where you have been planted, and that's a really important thing. And sometimes the growth isn't quite as fast as we would like it to be. I'm right there with you, struggling just to restart and find new people. But I've loved watching you grow and change over the last few years. It's been really cool. So I know that you already have a self-care plan in place, but is there anything that you're wanting to learn or needing to incorporate into your plan?
Um, so I was trained in advanced myofascial release this past summer or last summer, and I want to learn more self-treatment for myofascial release. I have like the blocks and the foam roller, and I think that it's important to be able to take care of yourself. Um, just being able to sit and be patient and listen to your body because ultimately, like, I as a healer, a practitioner of myofascial release, I can work on a person, um, but if you're able to feel it yourself as you're performing it and like, okay, yes, this is specifically, all right, I'm just gonna sit and like, that's nice. So that's something that I'm thinking more about.
I love that, Jamie. I can't wait to see you because I haven't been able to see you since you actually finished your program. So,
I
I
know it's crazy.
mean,
This time
I've
last year, I was
definitely,
in school.
yeah, I've gotten my share of massages from you, but it hasn't been since after you finished school. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mm.
Awesome, Jamie. Thank you for just hopping in the call with us
Ah,
and sharing a little bit. I love your
mhm.
heart, and I'm always grateful when somebody else gets to see how beautiful your heart is too. So, thank you, Jamie. All right, I'm gonna go ahead back and share my screen and all right, perfect. Here we go. So, um, let's see. Just recently, I was watching a pretty cool documentary on Prime. It was called Heal, Heal. And I highly recommend that you watch this. I think I'm going to go back and watch it again. It was so good. And I have a hard time sitting down for a movie. My friends all know that about me. So this is like, was captivating. And in this movie, one of the experts shared a study where she had interviewed cancer survivors from around the globe who had gone into radical remission with no explanation. And she discovered that out of the hundreds of patients that she interviewed, there were 10 common strategies that were used by almost every single patient. And so this list here that I am showing you is the list. And notice how really only the first two or three at the top are physical, and the rest are mental and emotional strategies. And so hopefully this list will give you a little inspiration as you start to create your own self-care plan. So we've talked through our self-care plan, and if this is something that you're struggling with and you just need some guidance on how to move forward, I want to invite you to schedule a breakthrough session with me. We're going to work together to identify your blocks and create your self-care plan together. And I will walk you through a tapping session on that call to just completely clear any physical or emotional clutter. And y'all, I love helping women find balance. So please know that this call won't have any bait and switch, salesy, icky tactics to it. It is in complete service to you. So now that we understand self-love a little bit better, let's talk through the process of restoring self-love. And I have some really great news. You're already well on your way. Just by being here in this workshop, you have already recognized your need to change, which is step one. And next, you're going to want to do some soul searching to uncover your areas of imbalance. Our goals workshop is still available for you, and you can use that to complete this step. It's going to take you through a full life audit to get a better understanding of where your imbalances are and where you need to concentrate your efforts. And I can't guarantee how long that goals workshop will be available, but at least for now, you can access it by visiting theelevationtribe.com/goals. So step three is to connect to a loving community, and the Elevation Tribe is open to anyone who would like to join us. You can search for the Elevation Tribe on Facebook and then boom, check, step three is done. You can also cross off step number 4 because once you've completed your self-care plan, you're done, number 4. And then look at how far along you are in this process already. So that leaves steps 6, 5, and 6 left. You want to start your clearing process and you want to help others along the way. So why don't we start the clearing process right now? So let's stop for a moment and think about what our lives would look like if we were able to clear all of this emotional and physical clutter from our lives. How would it feel to not be limited by your fears or to not worry about what other people think of you? Think about the relief. Oh, you would feel so much relief if you could just not have to experience all of those past memories that keep coming back again. And instead of jumping from trend to trend or doctor to doctor, trying to figure out how to heal, you'll now have more space to actually enjoy life again. What if you knew exactly what your purpose was and how to tap into it? How would your relationships change if you felt comfortable being 100% yourself? And what if you let go of those toxic people in your life? Would you experience more peace and presence? Would you have less guilt? Would you finally create space for someone new to come into your life? Would you pursue that promotion or book that family trip or maybe start that new hobby or side hustle? How would it feel to look in the mirror and be completely and absolutely head over heels, madly in love with the reflection that you saw looking back at you. And I am here to tell you all of this is possible. You have everything that you need inside of you to make these changes. You just simply need to make the decision and start moving forward. Are you ready? All right, now close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to connect with your future self. Visualize her standing in front of you, smiling back at you, and expressing so much gratitude for the work that you have done. What does your future self look like? Are her eyes a little brighter? Is her smile more genuine? Maybe she's a little leaner, or maybe her skin and hair are healthier. What advice does she have for you? Just remember, you can connect with your future self anytime. Now, the clearing process is totally something you can tackle on your own. I did. But I'm going to be honest, I definitely wished many times that I had a guide to help me. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by this process and you're just not sure where to start, I am here to help. So, a couple of years ago, when I unlocked the process of healing for myself, I knew that I needed to share what I had learned. And so I put my teacher hat back on and I began creating the Becoming Authentically You experience. It is a powerful 5 step process that will take you from feeling stuck in the past to fully enjoying the present. I took a holistic mind, body, spirit approach with this, and that means that it includes community connection with focused challenges. You have a lot of soul searching lessons and intimate group sessions, and then we have very deeply healing private coaching sessions as well. This experience is going to take you through the process of healing from your past trauma, and it's going to clear out all of the emotional baggage, and it's going to pave the way to you embracing and loving yourself again. You're going to start with a breakthrough session, which I'm offering as a bonus on this workshop, and you'll connect to our community, the Elevation Tribe. Step 2 is going to take you through the life audit process. And step 3 is all about decluttering your life. We're talking top to bottom, deep cleaning of your life. Step 4 is where we really will dig into holistic strategies together. And I demonstrate step by step how to use EFT tapping, meditation, essential oils, and so many other techniques to help you start to regulate your emotions. And then lastly, in step 5, we dive into self-love and release the trauma of your past. The best part is that you'll be supported through the entire process with our community, the group coaching calls, and of course, your coach, me. So I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about all the details of this program because that's not the purpose of this workshop. But if you really are ready to explore this experience, you can schedule your breakthrough session or you can visit our website to learn more. We have 2 different experience options. The courses experience provides you with all of the content that you need, plus just a tiny little side of coaching. Or we have the coaching experience that provides all of the course content, plus you'll receive 6 months of dedicated, intense private coaching, along with an intimate group healing experience. And because I'm planning a few price reviews this year, I don't have the prices listed here, but I do believe in full transparency. So you can find all of the details and also you'll find your workshop participant discount in the self-love workshop resources page at theelevationtribe.com/self-love. Founding the Elevation Tribe has been the absolute biggest honor of my life. And I believe with all of my heart that God knew I needed this tribe to fuel my own healing journey. The healing that's happened since we launched has been nothing short of stunning. So you can see here Catherine's experience. She shares that my experience with Kimmy was very eye-opening. I tend to be someone whose mind races constantly. Kimmy had me so quieted that I didn't quite feel like myself. I felt overwhelming stillness and was brought to tears from the sheer absence of racing thoughts. It brought to the surface and cleared feelings that I pushed down and ignored daily. These are practices that I will continue daily. It is mind and life changing. And Jamie shares, this experience was just what I needed to reconnect with my body and mind. Kimmy's calming spirit and knowledge of self-care techniques were the perfect guide to release stress and negative emotions. And then Michelle says, Kimmy has such a genuine, caring, and calming demeanor. She immediately made me feel comfortable with the work we were preparing to do. She helped me work through some overwhelming grief and resentment that was weighing me down and stealing my joy. And after just 2 sessions, the heaviness felt lighter, and I was able to remember my loved one in a positive and healthy way. Oh, I'm so grateful to be part of these beautiful healing journeys. All right, so as promised, let's put all of this work into action and clear some emotions right now. I'm going to take us through a brief tapping session that's focused on self-love. And if you've never tapped before, now is your chance to learn. It feels super awkward the first time, but it gets more comfortable the more you tap, I promise. So just for time's sake today, I'm not going to share the full explanation, but I did include a how-to tapping guide in the self-love workshop resource section. So let me stop sharing my screen so that you can see me a little bit better here. And before we start, you're welcome to turn your camera off if that helps you feel more comfortable. And you can simply watch as I tap, or you can tap along with me. I encourage you to gather the courage to just tap along. No one is going to see you. So let's start by taking a nice deep breath. And we're going to set the intention in our mind to just be open to this process and release any fear or doubt. You are in a safe place right now. And we're going to start off with the karate chop point. And we're going to say our setup statement 3 times. Even though self-love feels impossible, I still deeply love and accept myself. Even though I don't like what I see in the mirror, I still deeply love and accept myself. Even though it doesn't feel safe to love and forgive myself, I still deeply love and accept myself. I can't feel good about myself. There's too many things that I don't like. There's too many things I need to change. I can't feel good about myself. I can't forgive or accept my mistakes. I can't love myself. And I don't deserve to be loved by anyone else either. Why would they love me anyways? I'm so broken. I'm not good enough. There's too much I need to change. I don't feel good about myself. I don't love or accept myself. I have to change first. And then I can really love myself. There's too much to change though. So why even bother? I can't love myself right now. I have to change first. I'm too broken to be loved. I don't deserve love when I'm like this. It hurts to say that. I can hear how mean those words sound. Would I say that to someone else? Would I say that to a child? Those are harsh words that I'm saying to myself. Do I really mean them? These harsh words I'm saying to myself. It's too easy to be mean to myself. I don't have to be this hard on myself, though. I can be a little gentler. It's hard to see the good in me. It's easier to be mean. The bad is so much more visible. It's hard to see the good in me. But maybe I can be a little gentler. Maybe I can start to see the good. Maybe it's okay to be happy and proud of myself. Maybe it's safe to love myself. I can choose to treat myself with love. I can choose to start making little changes. It's safe to love myself. Look at how many people love me. I can love myself too. Choosing to feel that love right now. I'm letting myself relax and I feel safe to love myself. I'm choosing to feel that love now. I'm deeply loving and accepting myself. I'm relaxing and feeling the peace of loving myself. Gently grab your wrist to anchor in that work. Take a nice deep breath. Give yourself a little bit of self-love with your hands over your heart. And just feel that anchor in. And when you're ready, you can come back. Ooh. All right. That was very powerful. um, I felt the emotions start to come up so many times, and that's just how EFT is. It is amazing at helping us tap into that pain, but also finding a way to move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Carol on to the call with us. Carol, are you there? There you are. Hi, friend. Oh, Carol, what did you think of that tapping session?
Oh, it was really good. Tapping makes you be intentional. And so it just kind of clears out the murkiness around you. And then you get to where you are clear on what you're going to do. You're going to love yourself. So I
Yeah.
really liked that one. I
Yeah.
hadn't heard that one before.
Okay, I'll make sure to put that into the self-love workshop resources so we can have that script because that definitely did work on me. And I've done that script several times. So it is
Yeah.
very powerful.
It is.
So, Carol, you are the queen of oils. And you're really great about just self-care, holistic wellness. So, can you just share a little bit really quickly? Because I know our time is getting short, but
Right.
can you just share a little bit about your personal care, self-care practices and let us know what you have for oils for us?
Yes, I think the number one oil I use for this is acceptance. Because we all know our own frailties. We all know where we're short. We all know our own downside, but we have to learn to accept it. So I use acceptance quite a bit. And then the oil of harmony, because like you just want your day to be in harmony, your life to be in harmony. I use it as perfume because it smells really, really good. So I put it on my wrists and my um carotid arteries, so they can smell it just like you would perfume. And
Yeah.
then joy, I had to really learn to like, but I really love it because that really is in the books. If you look it up under self-love, joy is the oil, but over your heart.
Mhm.
And then forgiveness. We all have things that we repeatedly do that we know, oh, I wish I didn't do that. So you just have to learn to forgive yourself. And then I think just smelling the oils helps you go a little bit deeper. Um, I just love it. And then purification I use a lot of, and
Ooh.
that's for anger. So I just put that over my liver. I just really like the smell of it or diffuse it. And then you do a lot of tapping. I'm a member of that tapping solutions group.
That's
And is
where
that
I get all of my tapping scripts from. I love
yeah.
that. Yes.
And it's not only just for, weight loss or whatever, but even like my husband was having issues with his blood pressure going up and just occasionally. And we would go on that app and look up a script for that, or he has trouble sleeping, we'd use it for that. You can look up all kinds of issues and then it hones in on it. And one thing I've been learning recently that I bought a whole bunch of CDs and DVDs from is Dr. Amen, Dr. Daniel Amen. He's a psychologist that works with the brain. He does the brain imaging. And he talks about ants, getting rid of the ants, which is automatic negative thinking. And
Ooh.
so he says, whenever you're having a negative thought, just write down what it is you're feeling and then ask yourself, is that really true? Like he gives the example of, and you can go on YouTube and look them up. Like, my wife never listens to me. You know how you do that? Or my mom
Mhm.
never, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not never. So you just ask yourself, is that really true? Well, she does listen to me a lot. It's just, and so you work out, but get rid of the negative,
Oh.
automatic negative
Oh,
thinking.
so I love that resource. Thank you for sharing. And then another great resource is the book Feelings Buried Alive
There it
Never
is.
Die by
Right.
Carol Truman. And this book is such a great book for a healing journey. So,
Here's a book that, oh, it doesn't show. Okay.
oh, what is it?
Oh, how
You
did
Happier, right? That's
yes,
okay.
yeah,
Ooh,
you
that's a good one
happier.
too.
This is Dr. Daniel Amen. It's really good, but your brain, you have to take control of it
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah. It's
Hmm.
your journey. Self-love, your healing journey. It's an inside job for sure. So, and Carol, you've been actually in our coaching program since October with us. So, can you
Yeah.
just share a little bit about your experience with us?
Yes. Well, I just love you to pieces. I
I
just
love
love
you
little,
too.
I mean, you put a lot of work into this and it really shows. And I've just really enjoyed listening to you and then sharing, and the people that are on here, Angela, Mandy, a whole bunch. I don't know, that I'm very bad with names, but Jamie,
Mm.
everybody, what I like is that we all feel safe sharing our deepest, darkest secrets, but not only that, you have feedback that helps to try to help you get over the hurdle or move on. And I just love that part.
Yeah, I think that the safe place of healing has been just as good for you all as it had for me as it has been for you guys. Like I mentioned before, I needed this group just so badly. So I think that's the reason why I was called to lead it, because I couldn't make an excuse to quit. So yeah, I'm right here, and I am so happy to have you on the journey with us. I'm really grateful for your knowledge and just all of the beautiful wisdom that you bring to us. So thank you for sharing tonight, Carol. I
Sure, you're
appreciate
welcome.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Yay. All right. Next, I want to take a quick minute to bring Mandy on to share her experience. Mandy, are you there with us? And I saw that you were able to join right before our tapping session. So hopefully you got most of that.
Yeah,
Mandy, hi. How are you?
great. How are you?
I'm good. So you have tapped along with me many times now. How did that self-love tapping session feel?
It was great and much needed after the day. So
After today, yes, you've had a doozy for sure. So, Mandy, we've been working together for about 4 months, and you've had some beautiful revelations. Can you just share a little bit about your journey in the group?
it's just been like Carol said, just a great safe space to be able to talk about things that we don't often get to speak to. We don't often have people that we feel we can speak to. And so this has really been an incredibly safe space to be able to have that and just learning new techniques that we can carry through in life away from the group. Things that we can use to help with stress, anxiety, fear, just all of the different things that we deal with day to day and, maybe from things from the past. So,
Yeah. And Mandy, I know you are in the midst of chaos most of the day in your business. Women who just struggle in their lives, and so how do you handle that stress? Like, what are your techniques and strategies for making sure that you take care of Mandy?
I think, self care, working on grounding and trying to focus, but also having dear friends that I can reach out to that can send love and um, good energy for things, and um, that really helps knowing that you have people that you can reach out to that can help support. But just trying to protect yourself and stay in a safe place. You and I spoke earlier today about the white angelica and using it's a oil to kind of help protect your energy. And just bringing out the things that work, that can help you and protect you, and yes, kind of
Need this
ward off
all over.
all the bad stuff. And
For
it's
sure.
amazing how well it really truly does work. So
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much, Mandy. Every time that you speak, I just get goosebumps because I know you're always speaking from the heart. So it makes me so happy again for the world to see that part of you, because I know you kind of keep it a little hidden. So I appreciate you sharing tonight, my dear. All right, I'm going to share my screen just one last time and see if I can't get back on track here. The like, okay, first off, like what a beautiful call. This has been beyond my expectations. I've been mentally working on this particular workshop for about 6 months. And I am so grateful for just the stories and for just the message of self-love. So if you have received value from this workshop tonight, or you're watching the replay, I want to challenge you to go into the Elevation Tribe and share with us in the Facebook group. Tell us what your biggest takeaway is from this workshop and any changes that you're making or decisions that you're making to move forward. And we love pictures and we love stories. So go ahead and share as much as you're able to in the group. And this will help you to complete step number six, which is to help others along the way. And when one person shares, we all benefit. So, all right, I want to wrap up our workshop with a really quick recap of your bonuses from the workshop today. And you can claim your bonuses and watch the replay by visiting the elevationtribe.com/self-love. If you haven't registered, go ahead and do that. And if you're already registered, you can use the quick link at the top of that page just to go right to the self-love work resource page. And I would also be honored if you would share this workshop link with your friends or maybe post it on your Facebook page. It's free to join, it's free for everybody. I want to share this knowledge because imagine the impact that we could have if all women everywhere started to love themselves again. And we have the ability to do that. So let's talk bonuses really quick. Bonus number 1 is our self-love checklist. Bonus number 2 is your complimentary breakthrough session. And I've saved the very best for last, which is bonus number 3, our new ebook, the Self-Love Handbook. This book is a compilation of my strategies for just cultivating and embracing deep self-acceptance. And I hope that you will be blessed by it. So this concludes our workshop. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for joining me today. And please reach out if I can be of service to you on your healing journey. And remember, you are loved and you are worthy and you are strong. You are enough. And I love you, my beautiful friend. Mwah.